everyone, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna talk about top 5 free acquirable artifacts that you should get and upgrade. So first things first, I do have a cold and my nose is running, and sometimes it's even hard to, I suppose, breathe air without actually making some weird noises. So do keep in mind that if something like that happens, it's because I'm a little bit sick. So in this kind of a video, we're gonna have two lists. One for people that are spending money, so they should, I suppose, get a little bit more out of this, and then I suppose a free list for people who are not but still want to be better at the game. So a list changes only very slightly. So, majority of the time, if you are able to spend money on the game, you don't really need a lot of DPS free artifacts whenever you start out, because the premium ones usually do carry the most damage. So, the first artifact which you should get and upgrade is the Valkyries Banner. Now, I'm not sure if this is like the rank 1 artifact, but pretty much, if speaking from just a growing castle level, like level 30, 35, 40, or whatever, this is likely one of the best artifacts that you should get and acquire first, and I would rank this as rank 1. Pretty much, the reason is at that point in time, your frontline is rather quite weak and susceptible to hero and dragon damage, and at some point the dragon just wipes entire formation just by itself. So what this artifact provides is reduces damage taken from enemy heroes to melee troops by 25%, then reduces magic damage taken on those same troops by 25. Then the aura is prolonged to 27 seconds and reduces damage taken from dragons to melee troops by 25. So do keep in mind, dragons do magic damage and also further decreased from those dragons by 25. Then reducing physical damage taken by 25, and then increasing HP of the melee troops. So basically, this artifact, if placed well on specific troops, can actually help you tank the heroes, tank the dragons a little bit better than in other cases. Now, again, do keep in mind this is like a priority for a growing account. If you're very late in the game, I'm not sure if it poses the same value. Then the second artifact, I suppose, is a pretty hard choice between a couple of the free artifacts. Personally, I would say Astrarian Fadi is one of the better ones, but I am as well playing Lich, and I suppose this could be pretty friggin' powerful, maybe only on Lich, from what I can actually gather. So what this artifact does is it grants a buff or an aura or stuff, something like that, to surrounding units, and every few seconds they get like a proc, an energy point, and whenever you reach like the I suppose the max points, the threshold, they get healed for 8% of their lost HP. They get some evasion, they get percent in, I think, magic damage mitigation. I think there's probably physical mitigation somewhere as well, or just pretty much a healing in terms of lost HP, magic mitigation, and I think evasion somewhere here. There's just a lot of lists, and I didn't really want to read this entire thing for every single artifact. Otherwise, the video would be like, I suppose, 30 minutes. But pretty much, it regenerates HP on your frontline, even if the hero dies. Then it also has some resistances to go with it, and I do believe some evasion, which again is pretty good. And if you're able to spend money on the game for premium artifacts, as I said before, buffing your frontline and stuff like that is actually what you should be going for first. After that, there is a choice between a few artifacts coming after that, and it depends on your castle level. So the rank 3 artifact, I would kind of suggest for people to get the Sacred Wings. Now, I didn't upgrade this myself until like 7, 8, or 9 artifact because I didn't really pay attention to what the artifacts provided. So, what this artifact provides is a shield to your heroes based on their max HP. Then it boosts their accuracy and damage. I do believe after some seconds, or proccing after some seconds, even after the shield disappears. Then it just increases the shield and healing efficacy. Then it increases, I suppose, the accuracy, the damage that it provides, the stackable effect. But what we're really going for is the 5-star effect. Protects heroes from control and increases their attack speed by 50% within 10 seconds after the Sacred Wing shield gets destroyed. So, how I understand this is that the heroes are susceptible to stuns and control before this particular shield actually gets removed. But if the shield gets removed, then they are immune to control. I think once, or just for the entirety of that 10 seconds. There are some nuances here and there which I think this bugs out, and the hero still can't get controlled even if the shield disappears. But essentially, I do value this artifact quite a lot, because if something like Rufio's jump on your mages and you have a lot of buffs, a lot of healing, stuff like that, heroes just literally turn on the Rufio and kill him, and essentially you avoid losing majority of your DPS is just because of one hero jumping in your backline. And in some cases, those people who literally just focus everything on one Rufio, they just lose the entire match because you have like one artifact upgraded which can deny majority of that stun, majority of the pulling, majority of, I suppose, even ability to deny damage on himself. Basically, this is one of the more powerful heroes, or rather artifacts, buffing your heroes, and I value this quite a lot. Now, I don't even imagine my own formation without this artifact. Like, really, I just cannot imagine this not buffing like majority of my backline DPS heroes, like Tisafin, like Nora, like Valerie. I do think it even buffs my Ophidia and Floras as well. Um, Pretty much like majority of my burst side is being buffed by this particular artifact. So yeah, it's pretty friggin' powerful. Then the rank 4 goes for Malinok Codex. So it's again a hard choice between a few others, but at this point I would kind of assume and expect that since people chose this, or would choose this as a fourth artifact, they would be Castle 40 plus already. And Castle 40 plus pretty much makes Avril, if you're able to reach Arcane 8 in terms of hero mastery, do a lot of damage. And basically, with the abilities that she does have and casting Blizzard, she becomes invulnerable when casting Blizzard for like 5 seconds. Her mana cost is lowered, ability cooldowns are lowered, she gets increased magic damage and increased mana ability damage. So, why is this artifact so powerful? The thing is, you have to remember that HP percent damage is very specific, right? So, if it would say just 1% HP damage, 9%, or whatever, majority of that damage can actually still be increased by the amount of attack your hero has, by the amount of buffs your hero has. Now, a lot of people would say no, the HP percent damage cannot be improved. Unfortunately, it is. Like, if you would have, one moment, let's just go there. If you would have any hero do damage to a very late game, I suppose, formation, basically doing 9% of the target's max HP, you would still be able to do incredible amounts of damage to their army. And unfortunately, I faced a lot of people, and this particular hero mastery did nothing, like literally nothing, even to their archers, because my Avril's attack at that point was like 5 million, 4 million, or whatever. And now she can just explode because that kind of an attack value of like 14 million. That rather, I have a lot of buffs, magic resistance removals, all that kind of stuff. And literally, like, this artifact adds survivability and also increases a lot of damage and buffs and stuff like that. That the Arcane Age just provides so much that literally this uh, like artifact just ranks 4 just because it makes Avril incredibly powerful, at least in my own eyes. Not sure for others, but pretty much just, I don't know, man. Basically, like saying Valerie is perfect with Arcane Rod, I would assume Avril is perfect with the Malinok Codex. And the fifth artifact, I suppose it is a pretty hard choice between a few of them. So, have a choice between, I suppose, the Tempering Charm, you have a choice between Mask of the Abyss, you have a choice between, I suppose, Ring of Ragnir, because I think, or wait, no, I don't think that you get merged yet, so you cannot acquire this. So basically, a choice between Tempering Charm, Mask of the Abyss, and also the Leo's Pride as the rank 5. I don't think I missed any others. Let's see. Uh, well, potentially as well, Sunflare, at least to, I suppose, 3 or 4 star, depends. I'm currently not even using it on literally any hero, so essentially I'm not even sure if this is really that powerful anymore. Of course, I'm not using rogues or mechanists, which could actually use it that well. So personally, I would think Tempering Charm, Mask of the Abyss. If you're using ranged units, right? If you're not using ranged units, then the priority goes to Leo's Pride. The thing is, majority of the time, it will take longer than 5 months to actually get mage research going and then get your gladiator research going. So this might not even be your fifth artifact to upgrade. And of course, you're able to choose from majority of other free artifacts to upgrade, but I'm pretty sure I have to include Leo's Pride because of how powerful it is on the Rufio. So basically, this is my Rufio build. I have tier 9 wave power, have 7.1 million attack as a level 65 Rufio, and basically, when he jumps to the backline, he is able to do so much damage with Leo's Pride that sometimes he procs heroes to invincibility instantly, can sometimes proc dragons to their invincibility effect, can sometimes just almost one tap archers and proc their invincibility and stuff like that. So on a half decent ish invested Rufio, this particular artifact can be pretty well. But for majority of people, you're not gonna focus the gladiators, you have to focus the mages. So regardless of me including this as a top 5, it likely isn't top 5, but in terms of what it kind of provides, I just cannot leave this out of the list. Now, this might change for very late game servers or realm time or stuff like that, but essentially, if you do happen to get a full Gladiator Drake set eventually from Lucky Wheel or whatever, and invest a little bit into this hero, pretty much this artifact combined with stuff like Avril, and I do have, or rather, I do mean combined. Basically, my skill cast is depending which side I face. If I face Burst side, I cast Raxius, then I cast Avril, and then I cast Rufio. And basically, Avril and Rufio are doing damage in that same location. So basically, Avril's Blizzard fires off, and then Rufio jumps, and in a short amount of time, both of them deal so much damage that Rufio does happen to survive even against level 70 heroes and stuff like that. And essentially, the combination can just delete either the heroes in the burst side or the archers or stuff like that. So, in that kind of combination, in that kind of use, I would suggest like this being the top 5 artifact. But again, depends how far you grow your account, how much you may spend in terms of money, and essentially what you're able to invest in Rufio. So this would be my top 5. Now, of course, do keep in mind that there are like many other artifacts which you can acquire and use as well, which comes Tempering Charm, which comes Mask of the Abyss, which comes, I suppose, Mystic Scepter as well in some formations. Then you have Sunflare, as I said before. You have Ring of Ragnir, which you can acquire at month 6, month 7 in the game, whenever you get merged to a first Drake, and etc. and etc. Right? So there are a little bit of things here and there which you can acquire and still use. But this was sort of my list for top 5 for people that are spending money. Now, the list slightly changes for free-to-play players. So, majority of the people should always focus when starting out to upgrade your Valkyrie and upgrade her to incredible damage dealing capabilities. So, it comes down that you are not able to get the Arcane Rod 5-star as a free-to-play player very easily or at all at like this case. And the reason for that is being that I don't think it was in a lucky wheel recently, so likely you may be able to eventually get it. But other than that, I think people would say Spirit Scepter does somewhat decent on Valkyrie, or many people predicted that it should. Though I haven't really used this on Valkyrie, so I cannot really say whether or not this is just a little bit weaker than Arcane Rod or not. But for people who don't know what artifact to use on her as free to play, I would highly suggest either the Spirit Scepter or the Sunflare. Now, a lot of people would argue, but why Sunflare? Like, I talk nonsense, and whatever this is for like physical DPS and etc. and etc. Basically, you have to realize that Valkyrie scales with range as well as many other DPSs, and strictly because of this range 25%, she is able to reach the backline in terms of PvE content. So in such a case, you're not really focusing beating PvP as a very free-to-play player early on, right? You're kind of focusing in actually passing PvE content. So this 25 range, if you place her, or rather place 2 frontline squads and then place Valkyrie, and then you have this, and probably Rage 4 as well to grant more range, and then another equipment. One moment, where is it? Just give me a second. And when you get this attack range 20%, basically your Valkyrie, just by standing in one place, can literally set entire enemy field ablaze from the center of the map. And I do mean like literally. So essentially, that is where this particular artifact comes into play. And usually you don't really need to deck out Valkyrie like totally with premium artifacts for her to do damage. Basically, if you do happen to delete the enemy ranged units, your frontline will survive, and your Valkyrie will still be dishing out a lot of damage in that 20 seconds of her ultimate. And the further you upgrade it, 3-star critical hit damage will increase her damage, then 4-star damage to large and massive units. So basically, if you face like mechs or whatever, still will increase her damage. Now do keep in mind the Mystic Scepter does increase like majority of her damage as she does magic damage. So again, I haven't tested it. I think some people use this, so if you did use it, do leave, or rather, do leave a comment down below how good this particular artifact performed for you on Valerie. But pretty much, I would say either this or Sunflare would actually fit Valerie quite well. Now, I suppose this is just the one change for free players. After that, everything works the same except for Leo's Pride. Leo's Pride will not even be top 6 or even top 7 of the artifacts to upgrade for a free player, because I don't count myself as a free player, and I think I upgraded Leo's Pride as like the 8th or ninth of my free artifacts. Like, I know I upgraded this at like month 10, even 11, something like that. It did take quite a long time for me to do that, as again, you have to focus the mage research if you want to be powerful in the game, in the early game, pass all events. And gladiators don't really receive that much love, and they require a lot of investment in terms of a full Drake set. Then you require a true prism and a pretty decent star at that as well. You require likely a skin. It does help out regardless of what people say, and essentially a pretty decent hero mastery, stuff like that, all other bonuses. So for example, a skin adds like 800,000 attack, or 600 or 700 or whatever. It does help out quite a lot. So yeah, pretty much you have to like literally go hard if you want to make Rufio work, and that is why majority of those people cannot really make Rufio going, and that's why it took me so much. So essentially, for free players, the first choice is between Spirit Scepter or Sunflare for Valerie. Then you have stuff like tankiness, again, which I discussed as Valkyries Banner as rank 2. Then you have Astrarium Fati as rank 3. Then you have Sacred Wings as rank 4. And then you're choosing artifacts based on how many ranged units you use or whatever in terms of Tempering Charm, Mask of the Abyss. You have, or you can even prepare for Ring of Ragnir and save your materials as you enter the Drake and stuff like that. And pretty much that should sum up the entire video right here. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think of the list, whether or not you did the same, whether or not you think this is what people should be upgrading as well. Basically, this was just my own opinion from my experiences that I had in the game. If I would restart again, what stuff I would focus on, and like things like that. Because honestly, I don't think a lot of the information is there, and even myself, I kind of made a few mistakes whenever I did that. I've over invested in a few artifacts that I'm not really even using anymore. So anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.